Good day, everyone. This is Teacher Tess, and welcome to Enhance English Experience. This channel is made for learners and adults who want to enhance their English knowledge and skills. So please like, comment, subscribe, and also hit the notification button. Our video lesson for today is based on the most essential learning competency in Grade 8 English for Quarter 2, Week 6. And the most essential learning competency is compare and contrast opinions with those presented in familiar text. The objectives of this lesson are: identify statements that show contrast or comparison, determine grammatical markers that show contrast or comparison, and compare and contrast opinions. In our previous lessons, you have learned the significance of distinguishing fact from opinion. You have also learned how to compare different genres of the same topic based on certain elements. As you continue the journey to becoming an effective communicator, it is fundamental that you also learn to recognize how speakers and writers come up with strategies in sending their intended messages. In this lesson, you are expected to compare and contrast opinions with those presented in familiar texts. Do you love pineapples? Why yes or why not? I, you, and other people have different opinions about different topics and issues. Let us analyze how people express their opinions. Read this dialogue and answer the questions that follow. Rina, Karen, and Cecilia were in a pizza parlor one afternoon. While they were at the counter, Rina and Cecilia got into a discussion. Cecilia: I like pineapple in my pizza. It balances the salty taste. Rina: I honestly do not prefer pineapple on my pizza. Cecilia: How come? Rina: I just do not like pineapple on my pizza, period. How did you love pineapple on pizza anyway, Cecilia? Cecilia: As I have said, it balances the taste. It even gives texture to the food. This is according to Chef Emily of Emily and M Squared. Which Chef Louis, a veteran chef and NYC pizza consultant, agrees with as well. Karen: Actually, you are both correct. As long as the pizza satisfies your hunger, it's still a pizza. So, what pizza flavor do you want us to order? Cecilia and Rina: Pepperoni. Here are the questions for you to answer. Number 1. What were Cecilia and Rina arguing about? Number 2. Whose opinion do you agree with? Explain your answer. And number 3. Do you agree with Karen's statements that both Rina and Cecilia were correct? Why or why not? Probe your answer. In the introduction, you have analyzed the opinions of the friends, Rina, Cecilia, and Karen by comparing or contrasting their statements. Now, you are going to identify statements that compare or contrast. Here is Activity 1. Read each sentence carefully. Identify whether the statements compare or contrast ideas. Write compare or contrast. Number 1. Ella had her hair done in style similar to mine. Number 2. That bike has the same color as our car. Number 3. I was hungry, but I was reluctant to eat since I did not like what was on offer. Number 4. I got an 8 in maths and I'm doing well in other classes too. And number 5. I ordered steak, however, chicken was served instead. Number 6. I got my homework done despite the fact that I left my book at school. Number 7. That story resembles one I read a year ago. Number 8. Hank is 6 feet tall, although his brother is only 5 feet. Number 9. I eat meat, whereas my parents only eat vegetables. And number 10. My taste differs from yours since I do not have sweet tooth. Finish finished answering the activity? If yes, it's time to check your answers. Number 1. Ella had her hair done in style similar to mine. It is compare. Next, number 2. That bike has the same color as our car. It's also compare. Number 3. I was hungry, but I was reluctant to eat since I did not like what was on offer. And the answer is contrast. Next, number 4. I got an A in maths and I'm doing well in other classes too. The answer is compare. Next, number 5. I ordered steak, however, chicken was served instead. The answer is contrast. Number 6. I got my homework done despite the fact that I left my book at school. And the answer is contrast. Number 7. That story resembles one I read a year ago. It is compare. Number 8. Hank is 6 feet tall, although his brother is only 5 feet. And the answer is contrast. Number 9. I eat meat, whereas my parents only eat vegetables. The answer is contrast. And number 10. My taste differs from yours since I do not have sweet tooth. The answer is contrast. Did you get all the correct answers? That is great! Now here are the statements from the previous activity that compare. Can you identify the words or phrases that make these sentences comparing statements? Let's have number 1. What word in this statement makes this statement comparing? The answer is similar. How about number 2? It is same as. And number 4, it is too. And number 7, resembles. Here are the statements that contrast ideas. Can you also identify the words or phrases that make these sentences contrasting statements? Let's have number 3. What word in this statement makes this statement contrasting? It is but. How about number 5? It is however. Next, number 6, it is despite the fact. How about number 8? It is although. Number 9, it is whereas. How about number 10? Differs. Previous activity, you have identified statements that compare and contrast ideas. Also, you have identified grammatical markers that show comparison or contrast. Now, it's time to discuss comparing and contrasting opinions. In writing and speaking, formulating opinions could be challenging. Evaluating the validity and credibility of evidences in an argumentation alone asks for a lot of skills. Learning how to compare and contrast others' ideas can help you to be critical and reflective on the kind of information you will feed yourself. However, primarily, you should learn to evaluate someone's claims first. One way to evaluate others' opinions is by identifying the persuasive strategies used by the writer or speaker. Knowing these strategies not only helps you formulate strong claims, but also helps you identify the weak ones. Persuasive techniques used by writers and speakers in stating their opinions. Ethos, pathos, and logos are 3 elements of persuasion identified by Aristotle, a famous philosopher. By appealing to these 3 elements, a speaker or writer will increase his or her chances of persuading an audience. Ethos. It is an appeal to the writer's credibility, ethics, morals, and character. When you evaluate an appeal to ethos, you examine how successfully the writer or speaker appeals to the audience's sense of ethical behavior. The writer or speaker presents himself or herself to the audience as credible, trustworthy, honest, and ethical. Logos. It is an appeal to logic and reason. When you evaluate an appeal to logos, you consider an argument based on facts, evidence, and reason. Using logos means appealing to the reader's sense of what is logical. Pathos. It is an appeal to the emotions of the audience. When you evaluate an appeal to pathos, you examine if people feel that they have a connection with the topic at hand and how this topic evokes certain emotions, beliefs, and values. Here is a summarized discussion of the 3 persuasive techniques. Logos. It uses logic or reason, states claim clearly, gives logical reason, and includes facts, statistics, research information. Ethos. It convinces the audience that the writer is credible, uses correct grammar, sounds is well-researched of the subject matter, and maintains formality. Pathos. It appeals to audience emotions, carefully chooses words, uses figurative language, and draws emotional responses to the audience as anger, guilt, pity, and others. Here are examples of these different techniques. Logos. As a doctor, I am qualified to tell you that this course of treatment will likely generate the best results considering all the symptoms, conditions, and options. Ethos. More than 100 peer-reviewed studies have been conducted over the past decade, and none of them suggest that this is an effective treatment for hair loss. Pathos. There is no price that can replace peace of mind. Our advanced security systems will protect the well-being of your family so that you can sleep soundly at night. Grammatical markers in comparing. Time, like money, is a limited resource. You cannot buy everything you want. Likewise, you do not have enough time to do everything you want to do. Our time is the same as our money. It is limited. Also, time is a resource when work needs to be done. Can you identify the grammatical markers in this paragraph that show comparing? Let us see. These are like, likewise, same, and also. Here are other grammatical markers in comparing. Like, as well as, both, likewise, also, resemble, same as, and similar to. Grammatical markers in contrasting. Unlike time or money, desire is an unlimited resource. Think about it. In contrast to money, which can run out, your desire for new experiences and ideas will never end. Whereas there is never enough time to do everything you want, your desire will always come up with something new and exciting. Now, can you identify the grammatical markers in this paragraph that show contrast? Let us see. These are unlike, in contrast, and whereas. Here are other examples of grammatical markers that show contrast. Unlike, in contrast to, on the other hand, as opposed to, different from, however, whereas, on the contrary, although. After discussing about comparing and contrasting opinions, as well as grammatical markers that show comparison and contrast, and the different persuasive techniques used by writers and speakers in stating their opinions, it's time to perform the following activities. Activity 2. Go back to the arguments between Rina and Cecilia in the introduction phase. Compare and contrast the claims of the two friends using logos, ethos, and pathos. Write your answers in your notebook using the table below. Activity 3. Copy the given paragraph. Circle the grammatical signals used to compare and underline the grammatical signals used to contrast. Then, using a Venn diagram, compare and contrast the two birds. The cardinal and the setter waxwing are two common birds. Both have crests on their heads, but these birds have some differences. Male cardinal is bright red, while the waxwing is brown. The setter waxwing often migrates from one place to another. On the other hand, the cardinal stays in one place year after year. Here is a Venn diagram that you are going to use in comparing and contrasting the two birds. Do this in a piece of paper. Activity 4. Read the text carefully. Evaluate the claims with the writer's logos, ethos, and pathos. Write your answers on a piece of paper. Please see your module on pages 30 to 31. To summarize this lesson, fill in the blanks with the correct terms relevant to what you have learned in this lesson. Choose from the given word pool. The words that you're going to choose from: claims, speaker, persuasive, contrasting, reflective, and facts. Comparing and blank others' ideas are skills that can help you to be critical and blank on the kind of information you will feed yourself. One way to evaluate others' opinions is by identifying the blank strategies used by the writer or blank. Knowing these strategies not only helps you formulate strong blank, but also helps you identify the weak ones. Let us check if your answers are correct. Comparing and contrasting others' ideas are skills that can help you to be critical and reflective on the kind of information you will feed yourself. One way to evaluate others' opinions is by identifying the persuasive strategies used by the writer or speaker. Knowing these strategies not only helps you formulate strong claims, but also helps you identify the weak ones. This ends our video lesson on comparing and contrasting opinions with those presented in familiar texts. Hope you learned something and hope to see you again in my next videos. Again, this is Teacher Tess saying thank you for watching and have a great day.